Hello, rock and rollers. Welcome to the 27th ElectroJet Rock Show. I'm your host, Jett, and I have with me, coming to you from LA, Professor Electro.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks again for coming back. Thanks to everybody who's supporting us by subscribing to the channel. If you can, hit that subscribe button down there if you already haven't, and join the crowd. We're all going on the rock and roll ride together, so please support us.
Yeah, tonight we're going to talk about CREEDENCE CLEARWATER Revival. What do you think about them, PE?
Oh, yeah, classic. You know, of course, they broke up, I think, in early 70s, and we're kind of a 70s, 80s rock and roll show, but they had a huge influence, and I know they had a huge influence on Jett and, you know, on music in general. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah. Okay. So they signed a crappy record deal with Fantasy Records. They put out the record, their first one, the first CREEDENCE one. That is. They did have one other one that they put out, but the first one I'm going to consider would be the first CREEDENCE Clearwater Revival. It had Suzie Q on it, which got them a hit with some airplay. So they were on their way, and then. After there's some good tracks on that one, actually. I'm a big CREEDENCE fan. I think all the records are really great. I'll say that right now. Then the second one, Bayou Country, came out. What do you think of that one?
Well, I know like 69, they were really prolific at that time. That's where a lot of stuff that you still hear today on the radio, like Proud Mary and Born on the Bayou and Bad Moon Rising and Green River. I mean, I think they put out 2 albums at right about that time, and I'm not exactly sure which songs are on which album, but I know Willie and the Poor Boys, that was Down in the Corner, and you had Fortunate Son and Cotton Fields and Midnight Special, which were old Lead Belly blues songs from back in the 30s or 40s. I know that Fogerty was a big fan of that music, and you know, he does a few covers from that era. And then you had later on, you had Traveling Band, which I think is one of my favorite.
Oh, that rocks! Yeah, that's off a Cosmos Factory. I think that was maybe the
70.
First record I ever bought with my own money. I think, or the first record I ever bought with anybody's money. I think was Cosmos Factory. Yeah, thing's a friggin' masterpiece. Ramble Tamble friggin' rocks. It's in drop D. So yeah, then. So then after that, the Pendulum album came out, and that's when there was the friction with John Fogerty and his brother Tom. Pendulum's actually a really good album. It's a little more R&B on it, but all the songs are great. Like I said, I'm a big CCR fan. John Fogerty was one of my earliest idols, not only as a guitar player but as a singer. Yeah, there's some really good. There used to be a TV show that would come on every year. Some footage from them playing at the Cow Palace, I think, in 1970, and the whole thing friggin' rocks to the moon, man. Ferocious. Yeah, Traveling Band, man. That on that version, no sax solo, 2 John Fogerty solos. So what do you think?
They're a very interesting band, too, I think, because they, on one hand, they seem like the all-American band when you looked at them, you know, kind of almost conservative, but then at the same time, they were going with the 60s movement that was going on at that time. And, of course, they played at Woodstock. And then some people don't know they played at a huge concert that came before Woodstock at Devonshire Downs in the San Fernando Valley. It wasn't far away from where we lived. We were pretty young at that time.
Yeah, that's L.A. area, yeah.
And that was called Newport 69, and that had Jimi Hendrix and Tina Turner and a lot of other bands, and CREEDENCE played there. Unfortunately, not a lot of footage from that on YouTube even. Very, very little video footage. There's some decent footage of Jimi Hendrix playing, but not really anything of CCR. And that came before Woodstock, and of course the Woodstock movie also, I think, gave CCR a lot of notoriety. You know, that was some high quality video footage, you know, that wasn't really, a lot of bands didn't have that at that time. So that was a place they were really seen, gave them a lot of publicity. Unfortunately, they broke up, a year or two after that, right?
Yeah, they broke up in 70. Yeah, they finally, the split came when John Fogerty told the other guys, okay, you guys write your own damn songs and put them on the record. They put them on the record, and it was like less John Fogerty songs, so it wasn't as good of a record, although there is a couple of good songs on the Mardi Gras record. Sweet Hitchhiker's great, and Someday Never Comes is a masterpiece.
Yeah, both those songs.
Yeah, great vocal by John Fogerty on that one. Anyway, so anything else you want to say about them?
No, just a legendary band. Even though they broke up in the early '70s, they had a big effect. I think things like Southern rock and things like that emerged later. Probably a lot of influence came from Creedence. So very influential band, and they continue to play on. Fogerty does a lot of still touring now. So prolific and consistent.
Yeah, the body of work is phenomenal. All those records are really, really good, top to bottom. Not too many clunkers on them at all. So with that, I just want to remind you guys to like and subscribe. This is Jett signing off from Las Vegas with
the Professor and
Rock and Roll!
Rock and Roll!